back for another beautiful live stream. If you're just getting started with us, keep an eye. We're going to go through all the tickers. We're going to learn stock analysis. We're going to learn how to trade. We're going to learn how to do it all, right? We're going to teach you right here today. So this can be very informative as long as you utilize this time, because if you utilize this time, it's only going to better yourself in the long run. I've studied a lot of the top tier traders, the greatest traders that are out there, all the way back from Livermore to the more recent stock traders that you see today. And I tell you what, we have learned so stinking much from all of these people that, I mean, you can get pulled in so many different ways. And with the market the way it is today, it's very, very, very important to try and find your way in this market. So what are we trying to do here? Well, sometimes it's day trading, right? Sometimes it is day trading, and I don't like to day trade, but in this volatile market on these pullbacks, it was day trading. Now I'm looking for swing trades. We're looking for those longs because we had a follow-through day in the S&P 500. Now we're going to go ahead and go over the full market. We're going to give you an idea of where I think the market is, and if you notice how we do this, we're going to go with the SPY, the QQQ, the IWM. We're going to go through a whole list of things. Once we get through that list of what is and what isn't, then we'll have a better idea of what the broader market is going to do. I will create a biasy. That biasy can change over time, but I will create a biasy and then I will plan my trades around that. I'm going to be looking for trades around that biasy. So before I give you any inclination of what is going on, let's take a look at the overall market and let's see what the market looks like as of right now. S&P 500 trading at 510.06. It's actually sitting at 509.74. Let's throw this up on the hourly. So guys, this is the daily down here. These are candlestick charts. You can see we had this big run up since last October. We had a pullback, a 6-day sell-off, a nice bounce, and a new higher low was put in here on 425. And now we're sitting above a 21-day moving average. Now, according to the IBD live investors, this bounce right here, this area right here, is considered a follow-through day on 426. But the issue with that is it's only on the NASDAQ, it's only across one area, and it's not that healthy. It closed just barely above that 21-day moving average. Usually those follow-through days, you want to see a big ramp up in volume. You want to see a big push. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you if you're just joining me. Well, you're going to have an awesome, awesome day. Now, at this 21-day moving average, the next day, they tried to sell off a little bit, and then boom, we popped up even higher. This thing is looking strong still. So what else do we want to see in this overall market? Either a sideways action above the 21-day moving average or a push higher. So continuation is to be expected, but you never know in these markets. So let's see if we can find something a little better. The QQQs, absolutely beautiful, but what do I see on the QQQs? Now, last night I was going through this and I found it very, very interesting. Right here, look at this area of resistance. On this daily, I'll just blow this up so you guys can have a better idea. Look at this daily. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces off this area. So I drew a line off of this. This is that 433.35 area. That 433.35 area acted as support. When support is broken, it is going to act as what? Resistance. So this was support. We break through. Now it's back up here in this area. It's acting as resistance. So we need to be very, very careful with that. We need to stay vigilant in this area. So it's not all hearts, kisses, and rainbows in this area, guys. We need to be very vigilant. We need to have a better understanding of what is going on in this area. So the QQQs, the tech-heavy QQQs, to me, above a 21-day moving average is very constructive. But sitting right at that resistance, it would be very easy for us to have that pullback, very easy for us to end up having some issues at this area. All right, so let's take a look at the IWM. The IWM much higher now, above that 21-day moving average. Very, very constructive in this area. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you can hear the my son in the background. He's got the rubber chicken, and he's gutted the rubber chicken, and he's pulled the head out of it, and so it's just the thing that makes the rubber chicken sound, and he's blowing in and out of it, and he's just making the loudest sounds ever. But I mean, it's cute, it's fun, but when you're trying to do live stream, it can be tough, right? Stay focused. So the IWN above a 21-day moving average. Oh my gosh. All right, so above a 21-day moving average, it looks absolutely constructive here. So this right now, in my opinion, is the best looking area in all of the indices. Now, it did take a battered breakdown, but above this 21-day moving average, it's looking extremely constructive for the IWM. We want to see it continue on this. Well, if we look back at previous times, when we break down and we get above it, it holds above it for a while. So breaking down, getting above it, holds above it for a while. Breaks down, gets above it, holds above it for a while. Same thing, it broke down and it was a big breakdown. We remember this, right? Well, it's getting above it. So I'm hoping to see some continuation out of that IWM. Let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, this is what started off everything. The NASDAQ getting above that 21-day moving average, still holding above. It looks just like the S&P 500. Now here is your semiconductor fund. This is much higher above that 21-day moving average. Also now above that 50-day moving average. That's what we want to see, people. This has been leading the way. Why has it been leading the way? Well, AI is the theme. It's still hot, it's still out, and it's not a bubble, okay? Maybe that bubble pops and you can retrace my story, but everybody's already using it. It's already in your phones. It's already been out. It's just coming into fruition, and people are, it's just getting exciting. It's in everything. You have algorithms that know what you like when you go to buy it on Amazon. There's you know, that ChatGPT, holy cow, man. I use the heck out of that thing. And I want to honestly have, good morning, Zamora, good to see you. Dan Bob, best moderator alive in the house right now. Good to see you, Dan Bob. Zamora, good morning, Zamora. Yeah, guys, we're kicking butt. We're taking names today. Things are looking good. B Stewie's here. Good to see you, brother. So SMH, when we look at the semiconductor fund, guys, and it being above that 50-day moving average, that is an absolute beautiful thing. That's what we want to see in this, simply because it leads the way. It led this whole rally, the whole tech bubble that everybody call a bubble. I don't want to say a bubble, but with this whole tech push was led by AI. That's what is sustaining America's growth right now, is AI, is technology. So when you look at SMH, you're not just looking at semiconductors, you're looking at what is helping fuel semiconductor, or helping fuel the tech rally, because in all things tech comes semiconductors. So I still think this is very relevant. I still think with a huge push like this, I still think, in all honesty, this is just a beautiful correction. Now, we're going to see what happens now that we're above a 50-day moving average, if it can still have that beautiful buying power to the north side. Now, when it comes to the RSP, we are above a 21-day moving average. What is the RSP? Well, it is the equally weighted S&P 500. It's taking all your different ETFs and it's throwing them all together. They're making it equal. It's not saying tech is just the only thing that's keeping the S&P 500 alive. RSP is saying it's equally weighted with healthcare, with biostocks, with consumer staples, with technology, with, you know, everything, okay? Everything is equally weighted. The RSP is above a 21-day moving average. To me, that is showing that there's breadth in the market. The only issue I see is it's on lack of volume when we push up. So I don't like to see that. Dow Jones Industrial is trying to get above that 21-day moving average. Let's see, did we get above it yesterday? Let's take a peek. Okay, so we were above it momentarily, broke back down. We're trying to still get above it, so we're going to have to wait and see. Now, here's the cool part. The dollar looks like it's starting to curl over. It's still above a 21, but we want to see that correlation to be opposite. We want to see the dollar actually fail. We want to see it pull back. We want to see the dollar head back down. This dollar in this area is definitely an area that we want to see fail. Dan Bob, thanks for putting that up in the Discord. You are awesome. Healthcare is hot. It's been hot for a while, and we can actually go over all of those indices before market open. We got plenty of time. We got about an hour, so let's sit back, relax. we're going to make sure that we are well aware of what's going on in the market, and we're going to be well aware of what's going on for our trades. So this sip's for me, not for you. That's good stuff. Go ahead and bring up one more thing here. Make sure that we stay dialed in. We want to be dialed in. If you're not dialed in, you might as well turn down for what? Let's go ahead and click on this. Do one of those. That's weird. Sorry about that if you heard that. All right. All right, there we go. We're good to go, baby. So the dollar does look like it's starting to curl over. It looks like it found its resistance right up here in this area. We want to see the dollar come down. If the dollar comes down, there's usually inverse correlation, meaning the market goes up if the dollar comes down. Let's take a look at Bitcoin now. So Bitcoin broke that 50-day moving average. So if you're short in any of those Bitcoin miners, or if you're short Bitcoin itself, it's looking good here for a curl over, because that 50-day moving average, it was holding so well in this area. So Bitcoin does look like it's starting to curl over here. I think it still could have some life to live, a nice another pop up right back into this declining moving, trend line that I've put in here for you. It has that ability to pop back up because we are declining on lower volume here. So it might pop back up, but with this trend, the overall trend to the downside, it does look like Bitcoin might curl over. It might head back down. So we will see very, very soon what Bitcoin wants to do, if it wants to give us another pop. Now, gold. I've stated this before, and I'm going to state it again. Now, I like gold. I like the trajectory that it was on, but here's the issue with gold. First of all, it's below a declining 21-day moving average now, but I've had two people, okay, that don't know anything about stocks. They don't watch stocks. They don't follow stocks. They don't do anything, and they've asked me about precious metals. Hey, what do you think about gold? Hey, what do you think about silver? Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? The issue with that is when you get normal average people, not like you and I, if you're here listening to this, if you're here watching this, you like to keep yourself informed. You like to know what's hot, what's going on in the market. Now, if you guys remember, I told you about, it sounds like I'm bragging. I said this. No, we talked about this break. So this is the daily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different spots right here. And when it broke through that area, we talked about how gold can be an extreme mover here, pushing up extremely high. Yeah, LLY, we'll actually go over LLY. Let me get through the rest of these indices, which is only about 3 or 4 more tickers, and then we'll definitely hit up LLY. We also need to look at PayPal, and we need to look, Dan Bob actually posted in the Discord the earnings and news, so he's got that up for the earnings whisperer because he's the greatest moderator alive, baby. But anyway, after gold did this beautiful push, my only area to get in that I missed was this trend right here. I was not able to get into this trend. This trend actually broke and pulled back, retested the 10-day moving average, and just ripped to the north side. So I missed out on my only time trading gold. It's A-okay though, it's no big deal. There's always time to get back in. The VIX volatility index, this is a beautiful thing. The lower this goes, the better off this is. They call this the VIX volatility index. I call it a fear gauge. When we were up here, if you guys remember, we were selling off hard and fast. People are afraid when the VIX volatility goes up. So it's good to just look at this gauge. I know some people that they will not buy anything until this gauge goes high. So everybody's selling off. They're selling off fast and hard. Here's COVID. Selling off fast and hard. People are buying as the fear comes in. He doesn't take any trades until we get this big spike, which we get every so often. We get this big spike. We get this big spike. You know, it looks like it's once every couple of months. You know, we get a big spike here. And when we get a big spike here, we get a big sell-off. And that's when people start buying things up. Your institutional owners and, you know, your smart money, is like I like to call it. Your smart money, that's where they're buying, and then it's selling back off. When you're fear, when there's blood in the streets, a lot of times that's some of the best time to buy in these markets. And if you don't, that's A-okay. There's different ways to trade. I like to wait for things to cool off personally, and before I take my trades to the north side, I'm usually shorting when the fear comes in, but that's the VIX. I'm not going to go over, let's see, that's the green energy ETF. This is the 20-year treasury. I like to keep an eye on this, guys. this isn't something that I am well-rounded in, okay? When it comes to the 20-year treasury and the 10-year treasury bonds, I don't follow these as well. I do bring them up because I know that they have a very good correlation. The 20-year with the IWM, when it's heading down, it seems like the IWM is heading up. So I just keep an eye. I keep an eye on it. Okay, and so it's just something I bring up. Nail is your home builders ETF, so it's still holding out in this area. Maybe we have another pop here, some sustaining buying power. The biotechs are down below a 200-day moving average. Of course, we always like to look at NVIDIA because it is the leader in the market, okay? It is the leader in the overall market. We want to always keep an eye on NVIDIA, and it had a beautiful, beautiful day the past 3 days. Still holding in these areas. It's what you want to see from our leader if you expect the market to go higher. SMCI, right at an area of a downtrend. Now, if SMCI can break above this downtrend, and why do I say NVIDIA is a leader and SMCI looks good? Well, look at SMCI on this downtrend. If it breaks above this downtrend, now we have earnings coming up on the 30th, so that's today after market. That's going to be a hot one. But if SMCI for, let's just say for a day trade, okay, I don't like to give out day trade ideas, but let's say for a day trade, SMCI breaks above this area of resistance. Well, if we look at NVIDIA, look at this. When it broke above, it went much, much higher above. We went from 850 to 880, okay? So that's a $30 price move. Just imagine grabbing $100 of that. You make $3,000 in a day, guys. You know, that's $3K in one day. Now, I'm not saying that's the same thing that's going to happen with the SMCI, but if you're looking at a lagger like SMCI and you're comparing it to its leader, NVDA, those are some of the things that you can take, a small inclination on. Hey, I think this is what's going to happen. I have a better bias-y to the north side. If this breaks above, that's where I want to get in. Where are you risking? Previous low of day? Maybe not. Maybe the low of the day when it breaks out. That might be a better idea. But regardless, I don't like to play earnings, so I'm not going to hold on to this thing forever. So next up, let's take a look at Uncle Tesla. Now, I did a video on this yesterday. Look at the volume on this thing, guys. Holy guacamole. The volume on Tesla is rip, tater chip. Hold my beer. We're going higher. We talked about this in the YouTube short, and Zamora was with me. I think B. Stewie. I know Dan Bob was with me. Lou was with us, all when we were at that 160 area. If you remember this 160 area, guys, I said I wanted a short if we broke this 160 area. And I actually made a little money shorting this because I always protect myself when we start to come down. I actually made a little money, which is hard to do because it didn't move very far. Made a little money, then stopped out at break even. Made a little money, stopped out at break even. But I kept saying, I remember, Zamora, I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but I kept saying that 160 keeps getting bought right up, right? Let me zoom in on the 5 minute. It's kind of exciting. So it's exciting because, I missed it. But every time this thing would break down and we would get down to 158, it would get bought right back up. It would push higher. Come right back down to that same area. 157.90 is as low as it went. Got bought back up. Traded sideways. Came down again in the morning. 158.25. Got bought right back up. Created a new higher low. And then bounced off this VWAP area and never looked back. This thing is rip to the north side, guys. So we're going to just go ahead and keep an eye on this. Now, if you remember watching that YouTube short that I built for you guys yesterday, I'm looking for a base breakout or a trend breakout primarily on the hourly because this volume that's coming in, we're probably not going to see it on the daily. We're probably going to see it on the 5 minute. Excuse me. Or the hourly. Okay. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Right now, I cannot take a trade in Tesla. As much as I would just like to throw a Hail Mary pass and hopefully Uncle Tesla's there to catch it, I can't because something like this might start to happen. The second I buy in, this thing could fail. So we're waiting on that strategy, okay? A couple more, B. Stewie, and we're going to go over LLY for sure. And then we got to go over PayPal. We got a few other on the earnings today. We got 3M, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, IoT. Root's going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to look at that one. But we'll look at LLY in just a minute. So Netflix, I just want to keep an eye on. This thing is just trading sideways at this. This could be a base breakdown. And why do I say that? Because this used to be the base and it was a breakout. And then it came down, and then if it breaks this area, breaks this low to the sell side, I think we have a lot of room to go down. We've been pushing up, holding this. I think it can at least come down to that 200-day moving average and retest it like we did down here. So we'll see overall for Netflix. OLM Soft. Softy is not looking the hottest right now, well below all of its moving averages. I don't like the way it looks in this overall market with everything else to the north side. Softy is lagging now, so I don't like to see that. Let's see. We got... all right, Amazon. So AMZN came up to the north side. Looks like they have earnings here. Earnings are coming out. It's not letting me see it. Come on now. Come on now. Let me see you. All right, earnings is on the 30th, so that's today too. Wow, we got a lot of earnings, guys. This is going to be crazy. Okay, cool. I got somebody messaging me, and they're giving me compliments. I don't even know how to take them anymore. You guys are really, you know, I just a quick shout out to everybody that follows me, everybody that has joined this Discord, who constantly is propping me up. I just want to say thank you. I'm a big talking head. You guys know I love to talk. I can chatter, but it's hard to just talk to yourself without people thinking they're crazy, right? So thank you for being here for me. Thank you for all the compliments I've been getting lately. We've been blowing up on the YouTube. I've been getting a lot of messages from a lot of people, and I want you guys to know I'll never forget my day ones. When we grow this channel, which you guys know just as well as I do, we're going to grow this channel. We're going to grow it fast. It's going to be a big and beautiful thing. I think in 2 years' time, we're going to look back when we have 100,000 subscribers, and we're going to go, holy cow, this is amazing where we've actually came. And I'm never gonna forget the guys that were here, that are helping me every single day, that are joining me, supporting me. So thank you guys. Thank you for being here. You guys know who you are. You know who you are. Okay, so we got a couple more to go over. Meta's just, I don't even want to talk about Meta. That's actually pretty sad, man. Pretty sad. Meta breaking down over 100 bills overnight with their earnings. Apple is still on a major downtrend below a declining 200-day moving average, not looking really good with earnings coming out very, very soon. It's actually running right into that trend line. I have a feeling Apple's going to head lower today. Google had a nice rip. It's pulling back. It needs the moving averages to catch up to it. Google's a big boat. They're not going to take off and just go to the north side without those moving averages. So let's go ahead and look at LLY. Let me just see how my Affirm trade's doing. All right, Affirm's coming down here. That's good. It's good to see. We want to see Affirm failing in this area. I think Affirm popped up because of PYPL, but we'll look at that in a little bit. So let's take a look at LLY, guys. So LLY was pointed out by B. Stewie. Now we have a beautiful trend break. I've already got this marked out here for us. So right here around this $800, now it's not just $800, it's psychological and it's a technical area, okay? It looks like we came right up to that 800. Now, this is why I say that. I didn't even see where this went before that. I was just looking at the daily. If we look at the daily and we look at where this stopped the last time, it was at $800. LLY jumped up on earnings. What are we up on LLY today? How high are we up on LLY? 5.88%, okay? Came right back up to that $800 area. And now look, guys, we're failing right there, okay? Now, I shouldn't say failing. We're down to $781. So we went down $20 since we hit that $800 area, okay? So it looks like LLY had a great earnings report, okay? Not by much, but by a few pennies. And they took that news as overall bullish. It rip, tater chip to the north side, smacked right into that psychological and technical area of $800. This is what we need to look at, people. Look at this daily. Okay, we look at this. We can draw a line right here. You see this yellow line? That's my alert for when it breaks above it. Okay, now look, it runs right into that 800 psychological and a technical area, and now is coming right back down. So, beautiful, Mo Wealth. I hope you're with us on the YouTube. He said, I'm gaining quite a bit of knowledge from your platform. I'm a recent entry into the market with big ambitions, and that's what we want here. That's exactly. Hey, what's up, Nilish? It's good to see you, brother. Yeah, yeah, dude. Mo Wealth, I tell you, I really appreciate you being here. And with that last part, you said big ambitions. You can't join this market. You can't step into this market without having big ambitions, because if not, you're going to be like 99% of them, and you're just going to fail. It's going to be too overwhelming. It's going to be too much to learn. It's going to be too hard to trade. You're not going to be able to stay disciplined. You're not going to be able to stay focused. It takes a lot, guys. It takes a lot to stay focused, disciplined, excited, and have that want and willpower. So you need to start off with big ambitions. You need to always continue learning. And remember, you're a loser unless you're learning. We're always learning every single day. You guys will see on here that I get humbled every single day. I'm always learning. I just had somebody message me, Lou actually messaged me, and he goes, hey, look, you spelt this wrong in your YouTube channel, and it says you're a loser unless you're learning. I spelled it with an I. You know what I mean? Like unless, it's unless. U-N-L-E-S-S. I'll never forget it, but you know what? I get humbled every single day. It's okay to be wrong as long as you're learning from it. So thank you for that comment, Mo Wealth. I do appreciate you, and I appreciate each and every one of you being in here. So LLY looks really, really good here, guys. The thing with LLY, though, is that we want to see this break above that 800. And I don't think that that does that today. Now, of course, I could be wrong. But when we get a big push up like this right into a psychological and technical area of resistance, I have a feeling it could come right back. It could definitely come right back and then trade sideways for a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe bonking its head on the 800 a couple more times before heading higher. So unless we get a beautiful like conference call in the after hours, or I'm sorry, during market hours, and they say something like coming out with new products, new rockets, new this, new that, new whatever, you know, then that's when we're going to see this thing rip to the door side. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind, guys. LLY has the potential to break through 800 today, but more likely to stay below it and trade sideways if it is a healthy pullback. So, guys, if you haven't already, good morning. Take a look at my screen really quick. Wow, what's going on here? Let's see. There we go. That's better. I pulled up my screen. I had baby stuff on there. Holy cow, we're up to 717 subscribers, guys. What is going on here? Anyway, if you take a look at my screen, I got this up. I just want you to smash that like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. That's all I'm going to say. Just look at the screen, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We're here every single day, baby. We're doing it for you. We're doing it for me. Heck, this is great for me too. Helps me stay focused, helps me stay attentive, vigilant, and alert at all times. So doing that really helps me. Now back to the market. So LLY looks really good, really constructive here. You know what I want to look at is PYPL. So PayPal. PayPal did the same thing. Now, we came right up. Actually, I shouldn't say the same thing. This thing actually broke through its area of resistance. So I'm going to mark this out so we can see it on the hourly here. Okay. It came up. It hit this resistance area multiple times. Now, after earnings, this thing ripped to the north side, guys. 72.73. So let's look at that on the daily so we can see where we're at. So 72.73 is right here. It's kind of odd that I have it right next to where its area of resistance is. Why is this marked out before I even looked at it? Well, if we zoom back here, look at this. I marked this area of support out, right? We hit this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not even going to count as many times as we hit this out, okay? Obviously, this is an area of support. But what happens when an area of support gets broken to the downside? I think we're seeing a bit of correlation here. Now, when this comes right back up, this is that same line, guys, right here on the daily. I'll blow this up so you see it. Or on the hour, on the 5 minute. It came right up into that same area we were just talking about. If you weren't paying attention, rewind that. You need to rewatch that. That's why we always look to the left. You go to the daily time frame, you look to the left, you mark out those areas that used to be support if we're below it, or that are resistance above you, and then you come back and you look where it's at. So now right here, this gaps right up into that area of resistance. You can see a huge wick off the top. What's a wick? If we zoom in on this candlestick has a huge wick, meaning it traded all the way up to 72.80 and then got sold off in that same 5 minutes down to 72.15. Very big sell-off volume here. Then the next candlestick, we start to head lower. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with PayPal, and if anybody tells you they know exactly what's going to happen, they are lying to you. We don't know what's going to happen with PayPal, but what we do know is that there is an area of resistance that it's running into. So if we're looking for longs, we want to make sure that we can get through that area of resistance before we start to take our long. So right now, PayPal looking constructive up here at an area of resistance. Does it pull back or trade sideways before we break through? I think that that would be very healthy for PayPal before moving any higher. So PayPal is looking very nice up there. Now, I did take a firm. I took this a firm short. I was in it yesterday right around this 33.63 area. I shorted it. I played to the short side. It was very nice. I played it. I took money off on the way down on this trade, and then I held on to that last 100 shares. I'm still holding on to that 100 shares, guys. It popped up this morning, and I was wondering, why the hell did it pop up? Well, we always want to look at sympathy plays, right? Sympathy plays. And the simple thing is, guys, is when you get a pop in one area, you're going to get a pop across the board. So I'm sure if we looked at some other plays that have to do with financials, you're going to see this same pop because of PayPal, okay? So a firm got that same pop. It didn't scare me out because a firm is not PayPal, although a firm is coming out with earnings on the 8th. That is the day I will be out of it. I'll be out before that actually happens. So I am out of that. The only other trade that I'm in, other than my long-term trades, is KLG. We bought KLG. If you look here on the daily at the bottom, you can see at this green line, 2140. I was with the best moderator alive, Dan Bob Dan. He actually bought this, or he didn't buy this, but he pointed this out to me that KLG is a consumer staple. I was looking for consumer staples in this market pullback because a lot of people flood into the consumer staples because you're always going to need food. You're always going to need those consumer staples, even if we're in a downtrend. So a lot of times your institutional ownership will go into those consumer staples. So that's what I was looking for to help protect some of my money. So what I did is I decided to buy at this 10-day moving average. Why? Because we've seen it bounce once, twice, 3 times. Will it do it again? It sure as heck did. Immediately, only risking $24 here, guys. Only $24, literally. I'm giving you a dollar amount rather than a percentage amount so you can see how easy this can be if you are disciplined. Risking $24, and then we're up, I don't know, let's take a look. We're up $219 on this. At one point, I was up $300 in this, but here's the thing. It is a swing trade. We are looking for a continuation play, and I will not be exiting until this closes below the 10-day moving average. So regardless, we are up money. We're not going to lose money on this trade. We're going to make money on this trade, but I want to hold out until it breaks that 10-day moving average because it's proven itself in this area so many times, okay? So those are the true trades I'm in. And as you guys know, we're going to run through the market. We're going to go through everything. We're going to make sure that we know what's going on for any of your biggest gap ups. We're going to want to know what is going on in the overall market. We're going to go back over it again. We still have some time before market open. So now that we've been through the whole spiel, if you have any questions, any comments, or concerns, throw them up in the chat. Dan Bob says he wants a bowl of Kellogg, KLG. That's your oh man, they got your Frosted Flakes, right? Is that what you want? No, you want Raisin Bran, Dan Bob. If I know you, you want that Raisin Bran, bro. I'm picking out all of them raisins, though. That stuff's gross. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, any ticker symbols you want me to look up, any questions at all about the market, if I can answer them, I'll be happy to do so. If not, I'm going to go through a few stocks that I've been watching here. The overall market has, well, it's been holding up, and some that I stuck on my watch list just because I think it's really important to keep an eye on these. So like SoFi, for example, we have this downtrend. We've seen it smack right into its downtrend yesterday, okay? And then it failed. And now it's right down here at this low. And I have a feeling if this thing breaks this low, which it looks like it already has, yeah, It already broke this low. It has the ability to have a continuation to the sell side or a distribution day. Let me get a sip of this. B. Stewie, you're eating that Raisin Bran too, bro? Man, what is my demographic here? 60 and up? I'm only kidding. I love you guys. You better be putting some sugar on that Raisin Bran, man, because that stuff is just gross. No, I'm a child, dude. I still like them Fruit Loops, some Fruity Pebbles, and hell, I'll still put some sugar on that stuff too. But anyway, SoFi breaking down here. So A-Lab is a big one. So A-Lab, I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on. All the IBD investors, the Investor Business Daily, the William O'Neill followers, and if you guys don't know what that is, read this damn book. I tell you every single day, get this book, read this book. If you don't know what it is, William O'Neill, the founder of IBD Investing, he wrote this book. All of your best swing traders talk about this book. They preach about this book. And you know what? I want to be one of the best too. So I'm going to follow in their footsteps and make you read it as well. If you want to get more knowledge, if you want to get more wealth, if you will, this has over 100 examples in it, guys. 100 examples. I'm never going to stop talking about this book. I love this book. This is a great book before bed. It gets you dreaming about this. It shows my trend lines. It shows the base breakouts. It just shows so much to keep you attentive and alert and vigilant in this market. Get that book. Read that book. And if you don't like to read, well, at least get it on tape. But it's nothing but pictures in the first 100 pages. After that, you just got to memorize CANSLIM, C-A-N-S-L-I-M. You just got to remember the acronym for it, and then you will be good to go. So A-Lab is one of those. It's creating a cup and a handle. I want to see this handle. I want to see it trade sideways for a few days to maintain a base. I want to see a base and a breakout here. The longer the base, the better the breakout. So I don't care if this takes a week, hopefully not a month, but I'd like to see a week or 2 weeks of base before this thing can break out. So let's see this thing break out. That would be absolutely beautiful. Next up is going to be NVDA. NVDA is absolutely beautiful. We already went over this, but we need to go over it again. Why? It is the leader. It's been the leader. It's been actually, I have a ton of drawings on this because I've taken so many trades. I guess I can just go ahead and clear these out so it doesn't look so gross for you guys. Here you go. That's for you. Let me redraw this trend though. But man, this base breakout, guys, was such a beautiful base breakout. And I stinking miss this. Look at this. It didn't just break through it. It wasn't even there. It cut right through that like butter, and that's what you want to see. Good morning, Carly. Good morning. Predator's in. You're only getting closer to... Yeah, you're right. Root, what up, bro? Good to see ya. CJ, good to see ya. Yeah, raisins are gross. You got to pick those things, throw them out. Until they're in Raisin Bran Crunch. No! CJ, what's going on, dude? It's good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with y'all in that Raisin Bran Crunch, but yes, I am getting very close to that age. Gross, man. Y'all need to get on that Fruit Loops kick. So NVIDIA had this beautiful trend right here above all of its moving averages right now. That's what you want to see in the leader. You want to see the leader being a leader, getting up and above the rest of its moving averages, showing the rest of the stocks, hey, it's time to rip, tater, chip. Let's head to the north side. That's what we want to see. Next up is going to be Kava. Why am I looking at Kava? Well, simply put, the restaurant businesses are hot right now. Who's leading the market? If you don't know already, it's Chipotle, CMG. So before we look at Kava, we're going to go back to CMG. Why? We always want to look at the leader in the market. We always want to look at, and that's in the book. That's the L in CANSLIM. L is under leader, and I think Dan Bob was actually just reading that the other day. I think that's chapter 10. Leader over lagger. We always want to follow the leader. If you're not buying the leaders in the market, you need to at least understand and know what's going on with the leaders in the market, okay? So we're going to look at CMG, and, well, right here, you can see on earnings, this thing rip, tater chip to the north side, had a little bit of sell-off, but then got bought right back up. This thing has been an overall mover since its breakout way back here. It bounced off this 200-day moving average at 1793. It's doubled since then at 3,200, guys. It's sitting at 3,200 right now. That is an amazing sign for this overall sector. This restaurant sector is a beautiful sector to be in. So now back to Kava. Kava is a beautiful stock. It is the Mediterranean of the Chipotle, okay? Chipotle is the Mexican, easy overhead, not expensive, but they charge you a foot or an arm and a leg. They charge you a foot. I don't know where my mind's going. They charge you an arm and a leg just to buy a burrito. What the heck? Kava. Let's just read what Kava Group is. I know it's a Mediterranean, but we're going to read this out loud just so we understand. But it's in the restaurant consumer services, and it is a holdings company which engages in operations of restaurants. It operates through the following segments: Kava, Zoe's Kitchen, and other. The Kava segment represents the financial result of all Kava restaurants. The Zoe's Kitchen segment focuses on the financial result of Zoe's Kitchen location. The company was founded, who cares about that? But it doesn't say it's delicious or anything. I thought it would go into like, yeah, we're selling Kava Mediterranean bowls of delicious, delectable delights, but they don't go into it very much. So I am looking for Kava. These aren't buy or sell recommendations. These are put on your watch list. Let's wait and see what happens. Kava had a beautiful push up in this overall market because of CMG. You can see, why did we bounce up here? CMG came out with better than expected earnings, and then you can obviously see that Kava also is now trading well above its average volume. Next up, I'm just throwing this on here as TTK because I like to hurt my stomach. I had over 1,000 shares here, but with the way the market was looking at the time, I decided to exit the position. So sure, I missed out on $1,000. It's no big deal. You know, there's some you're going to make, some you're going to lose, some you're going to wish that you held on to. And this is one that I do wish I held on to, but I didn't want to hold on to 1,000 shares overnight. I was kind of right around break even midday before I decided to exit the trade. So I didn't lose any money on the trade, but if I would have just had the cojones to hold overnight, I would be up about $1,000. But it's no big deal, guys. You can't win them all. Wingstop. This is another restaurant business in Monroe, where I am from. They have a Wingstop. I tried Wingstop about a year ago. I ate it and I said, I'm not investing in this hot garbage. I don't like Wingstop. I do like wings, but I didn't like Wingstop. I didn't like the environment, but it's easy overhead, right? Wings are cheap. They make them cheap. They sell them. They make a bunch of money, right? And people are buying the crap out of this stuff. So let's see. Nylish says, have you had a chance to look at Sweet Greens? Similar concept, and it all started from Georgetown University. Sweet Greens, why don't you give me the ticker for that, and we will definitely look that up. Zamora says, I don't even know if I want to say it. It could be a cuss word, Zamora. I don't know what the heck that is, but I'm not saying that on air. I don't think you would do that, Zamora. I'm only kidding. But what are you trying to get at, Zamora? Is that a ticker that you want me to look at? Remember, we always need to put the ticker symbols in there, guys. I'm blind without a chart, first off. And second off, I can't really look up exactly what that is. I think Sweet Greens is just SG. Is it? Yeah, okay, cool. SG, yeah. And yeah, Sweet Greens is looking good, guys. They do have earnings coming up here on the 9th, so keep that in mind. We're creating this cute little cup. I say cute. Wow. Wow, I'm so manly. This cute little cup, this little teacup, pinkies up, buttercup. So we're gonna give Sweet Greens some time, but yeah, that's another consumer staples. Let's read about Sweet Greens just really quick. So Sweet Greens, yeah, it is a consumer service. Restaurants. Not staple, but a service. Sweet Greens owns and operates a chain of salad restaurants and offers drinks, sides. You know what? This is a good one to keep on the watch list because salads, it's overhead. They're charging you an arm and a leg for salads, right? So I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on here. Great call, Nylish. I appreciate that. And if you guys look at their previous earnings too, you can see the amount of volume that came up in on this. And then their sell-off was on less volume from their push. That means that it is showing a proper, and see this cup, it kind of looks like Kava in a sense. So we see this restaurant business. We see that it's hot. We need to keep all these restaurants on our, thank you, Nylish. KVUE, we'll look at that in just a minute, Zamora. I just want to keep on about this restaurant business for a minute. If we stick with these restaurants and we know that these are a hot sector and we can stick with the hot sectors, now we know where we can make our money. We need to find the best looking strategy in that sector. We already know that CMG is the leader. So if CMG sets up before any of these other, then we know we can take a trade. Now, what do I mean by set up? Well, as you guys know, there's two main trades I like to take in a bull market. One is your base breakout. Me and my boy Adam, that's his main strategy. I usually let him guide us through those base breakouts, but I usually like to play those trend breakouts. So if we start to form a nice base breakout, meaning we have a pullback, we start bouncing around that 10-day, we start tightening up, we start forming a base at the top, that is when we're going to want to take a trade to the north side. Actually, I have a picture here I can bring up for you guys. Whoop, don't mean to blind you there. Sorry if that was bright. I'll bring up a picture here for you. I just got this yesterday, so that way you guys can see exactly what that base breakout looks like. How about that? I think that'll be a little bit easier. Let me just bring this up for you. I really think it's intuitive for us to keep an eye on these. Let's see, camera roll, screenshots. Here we go. So here is your base breakout right here. It's real simple, guys. Now, it's never going to look this clean, okay? But this is a flat base breakout. Sometimes you get moves up and it doesn't come all the way cleanly back up. Sometimes it's like, you know, a little bit, you know, like it's not as, you know, it's not as clean, but this is the idea. It creates a base up top and it creates a base down bottom, and then it breaks out through this top. When it breaks out through the top, you can buy here and then you can set your stop down here. So that's a that's a fat base breakout right there. That's a thick breakout. No, that's your base breakout, okay? What I like to play is something like this right here. So this is your trend break, okay? This trend break is much more, this is what I like to take, because what it does is it moves up, it creates a trend here, and rather than playing a base breakout here, I'm already buying when it breaks its trend using usually previous day. I don't usually use the bottom of that. I usually use same day or previous day. And we actually have a whole data system collected with this that shows and has proved to us that that we are making money, that these work in an uptrend, okay? So as long as the market does well, we're making money during these base breakouts and trend breakouts. So we're waiting to make sure that the market does do that. Above a 21-day moving average with the 10-day moving average curling up to the north side, we just want to make sure that 50 isn't going to stop us in the tracks. But we'll go back over that again very, very soon. So let's go through some of these that are in the watch list. But remember, guys, what's hot? For the restaurant business, they're sizzling. They're cooking it up. It's hot in the kitchen. If you can't handle it, get the fuck out. All right. Next up, we'll look up KVUE for my girl Kimura. I said Kimura, and then I typed it in here. What is going on? It's Zamora. Now, if you want to know what Kimura is and why I said it, that's a jiu-jitsu term. That's a grip that we use to help control your assailant. So Zamora. Let me look up KVUE without typing this in the chat. What's up, mister? Hang on. This guy wants to say hi. Come here, mister. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. He's got his blue bear. Thank you, mister. Good boy. Okay, so KVUE, the first thing I'm going to look at here, Zamora, is it's simply below its 200-day moving average. Okay, it has not made it's made one new higher low, but it is not sustaining buying power there, and it's got earnings coming up. So I can't really look at this thing. I can't really give you any intuition on this except for it's got a lot of proving to do. It needs to be above this 200-day moving average and start creating new higher lows to the upside. So if it did, let's say after earnings, it did something like this. That's when I would start getting interested, right here in this area. But right now, I cannot see this thing doing much of anything. I don't really have any intuition on it, Zamora, so I do apologize if you wanted more from me there, but that's all I got. IBD mentioned SG on Friday. Yeah, of course they're going to mention it because it's in the hot sector. It's in the hot sector of the restaurant, the sizzling fire, kick it up a notch business, right? So SG, CMG, Wingstop, what else? Kava. That's all in our hot sector, guys, okay? We want to keep an eye on all of those. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you have your restaurant sector and you know your stocks. Where is, let's see, Kava, Wing, Okay, cool. All right, so what else we got? I want to look at UAL just to see how that's doing. Tried to grab some shares up here. Tried to grab 1,000 shares up here to the short side, but it took off without me. It was within pennies of getting me in that. I would be up a couple $100 on this, but it took off without me. I canceled the order. For now, it looks like UAL is really getting tight here. I have a feeling that UAL might actually break to the north side. And if it does, I might switch my bias on this and take this to the north side. And some of you might get angry with that. You might say, well, UAL, you were saying short. Well, I made money on the short side. I'm seeing it tighten up now. I'm going to change my mind. Why? Technical analysis. If technical analysis is showing me that we're creating new higher lows, technical analysis is showing me that we're getting close to breaking a trend. If technical analysis is showing me that we're getting tight every single day, that's showing me that there is some buying power in there, that there's not as much selling, and that people are buying this up. So UAL is actually starting to look good here. So I'm going to have to start making up a chart for all of the airliners. But I know that JETS is the ETF, and look at this ETF as well. We have this area of resistance up at the top, but it's creating new higher lows above a 200-day moving average. Now that 200-day moving average is curling down, so we need to see some more constructive moves to the north side before it starts taking off. But the airlines might be the next area to be buying in. We'll have to see. It could be very, very soon. And guys, you know I haven't done this in a minute. Go ahead and look at the screen. If you've looked away, I want you to go ahead and look at the screen. Let me just refresh this to make sure we're up to date here. So click this live button to make sure that you are live with me right now. So that way everything you're hearing is here and now. It's live and true. We only got 30 more minutes till the market open. Smash this like button for me. Hit that subscribe button. And that's all I'm going to say. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, guys. You know, I love to do this here for you. And all I ask for you is for lend me your ears. Hit that like and that subscribe button so that way we can keep on keeping on, baby. That is self-preservation at its finest. All right, so let's go through the overall market one more time to make sure that we are up to date. And then I am going to look and see if I can find anything that looks like a good trade for the day. Oh, you know what we haven't looked at, guys? Oh, no, we've looked at Tesla. We've looked at Tesla. So let's go ahead and go back over the market. If you guys have any, oh, you wanted me to see EGY. Let me just take a quick look at that. Yeah, EGY is looking pretty good here. It actually sustained some of the buying power back. So that's the energy service, and it does look like actually Zamora. It does look like it's breaking out of this. It looks like it's breaking out of this trend here. So that's really, really nice. Guys, I gave you EGY to keep on your watch list a while back because it's 3.1% ADR. And if we look at the overall energy, so XOM, we want to see this thing. If you want energy to go higher, we want to see it get above this area. The issue with XOM is that it came out with bad earnings and it popped back up into its area of resistance. So this pop up is going to be good for the sector. So if we look at EGY, we can see that we had that same pop. The issue with that is earnings is coming up very soon, so it's not going to be a great swing trade. And also XOM is right back into that resistance. So I have a feeling just from the chart, I don't really know what's going to happen, guys. If anybody tells you they do, they're lying to your ass. We're right in this area of resistance. You can see I drew this out a long time ago. I'll just extend this back here. We're right into that area of resistance. Why is that resistance? Well, look at the daily. We always look left. 1, 2, 3 different times it was in this area. It broke up above it and then got shot right back down. Broke up above it, got shot back down. Now we're below it. Now we're going to have to get back through it, come back down, retest it before we move higher, or maybe we're in this area and it's going to fail and the floodgates are going to open and it's going to head lower. I don't know, but I am here to keep an eye on it so we will know when it starts to break down again. So when you say EGY, we're looking at energy. We want to look at the leader. It is breaking this trend, but with energy where it's at right now, I would expect the leader to fail, and I expect EGY to most likely fail with it. So Zamora, that's a great ticker. I would definitely keep that on the watch list, but I'm not sure 100% if this would be a good trade. But these aren't buy or sell recommendations either, guys. This is just a big talking head trying to give you some technical analysis on what's going on. So let's take a look at the S&P 500 because that is where we want to get our information from. S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, those are your key indicators with the overall market. And the S&P 500 at this point is trading at 508.25. So I believe we just got a little bit of data that came out. Let me just double check on that before I give you the wrong. So let's see. U.S. retail sales came out for 5.5% for the week and ended 27 versus a year ago. Employment costs quarter over quarter, 1.2% versus the 1% expected. So a little bit higher there. I think that's all we got. Let me just see what else is going on in the market here, guys. I don't think we have too much going on. Let's see. Oh, Nihilus just messaged me and said, based on your recommendations today in the live YouTube, I bought my first stock book. That's what I like to hear, baby. Let's go. I hope it was this one. I hope it was the orange book, and I hope you got the paperback copy. Well, I mean, if there's a hard copy, let me know because I wouldn't mind buying that too. But yeah, that's a good book, and I'm glad that you got it. Absolutely beautiful. Love to hear it. Read it, love it, learn it, read it again. Look through all the stock charts on it. I mean, I'm getting excited again. I'm going to have to read through it again, especially because Dan Bob said he was on chapter 10. It's one of those things. It's like, man, you know, I'm getting everybody else reading it. It's getting me excited about it. So I like to see that. I'm telling you guys, it's a really, really good book. It's highly recommended. I was recommended by one of the leaders out there. So 35 minutes is the Chicago PMI, the Chicago PMI data. I'll just read verbatim what it is so you guys have a better understanding. But that data, we like to understand what is going on in the overall market. It gives a better inclination to old Papa Powell on what he is going to do with the Fed rate hikes or stays or cuts. Okay, the Chicago Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, determines the economic health of the manufacturing sector in the Chicago region. A reading above 50 indicates expansion, and below means contraction. We have been getting contraction for the past 4 months now. Right now, the last one was 41.4, so we're showing contraction. The forecast last month was 45.9. So if we get lower, that's going to be better right now for the economy, because with the rates being at 5.5%, okay, hear me out. This might be confusing, but if you hear it enough, you'll understand it. With the rates being at 5.5%, Papa Powell wants to see the actual rate cuts doing their job, meaning they want to see the actual rate cuts creating deflation or contraction. They want to see the economy contracting, because if we continue to expand and the economy is booming, which it sounds great, but with inflation, an expanding economy is bad, because the more expansion you have, the more product you have, the more demand you have, the more people you have working, the more money's in the economy. I mean, it sounds great. It sounds like utopia until you go buy a box of eggs or you go buy a new car and they're 30% higher than they were last year, and they're going to be 30% higher next year. So that's why we want to see that economic contraction. So if the PMI comes out in about 30 minutes now, guys, when the PMI data comes out and we read it, we want to see that it's below 50. That would be best in our overall interest for the stock market to continue to rise. The stock market will not continue to rise if Papa Powell looks at this data and he ingests it. Now, the Chicago PMI is not nearly as important as your CPI or your PPI. All of those are going to have a little bit more of an effect, but I've said this before and I've been proven wrong. Sometimes if the Chicago or the Chicago PMI data comes out and it's ran rampant, we're way above 50, since we're expecting, let's see, what are we expecting for the data? Say we're expecting 44.9, which is below that 50, which is showing the economic contraction. If we go well above that, guys, things might look real bad in the overall market. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But right now, I don't want to put any fear out there. Beautiful. Nihilus said he got one paperback copy of How to Make Money in Stocks. I love to hear it. And Nihilus, since you're part of our Discord, and guys, you're more than welcome to join our Discord. It's absolutely free. Everything we offer is absolutely free. Because you're in that Discord, keep us up to date. Give us little excerpts of what you're reading. When you get through chapter 1, let us know what you thought about it. Let us know your key takeaways. Take a picture of what you've highlighted in your book and send it to us, because it's only going to help further expand our knowledge. Now, let's get back to the charts, guys. The S&P 500 is sitting at 508.42, a little lower than its previous closing price of around 510. So we are seeing a little bit of a pullback, nothing crazy, but we are seeing a slight pullback. Let's take a look at the QQQs, which is the tech heavy ETF that holds all your big tech stocks. Now, it also had a nice little pullback there, trading at 431.21. Its closing price was roughly around 433. Let me get a sip and I'll keep on keeping on. You know what we need? Bam. Some lo-fi music, baby. Now, if this lo-fi music is too loud for you, let me know. I can turn it down. But I like to have it so when I take a sip, you guys can get a little relaxation time, baby. All right, so we went through the SPY, we went through the QQQ. What's next? The IWM. The IWM is an absolute monster as of yesterday, getting well above that 21-day moving average. That's what we like to see. We want to see expansion in the overall market. The issue here is it just pulled back below that 21-day moving average in the pre-market. It's trading at 198.13 right now. Its closing price was way up there at that $200 area. Now remember, guys, I've been telling you the past 4 or 5, maybe even a week now, that 200 area is not just psychological. It is an area of resistance. So it's on a technical and a psychological area of resistance. We want to see that get above that 200-day moving average, or excuse me, above that psychological $200 area. If we can get above it and then pull back and use that area as support, that would be a beautiful move to the north side. So we're going to see what wants to happen with that. So next up, let's go ahead and go through this. The NASDAQ will be opening up very, very shortly here. We have about 15 minutes, guys, till market opens, so thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. And since we're all here in one place, just loving it, let's go ahead and take a look at my screen here. Click that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. It's right here. It's right here in front of you. And if you haven't already, hit that live button. Make sure you are up to date on where we're at, where we are headed, and we will keep you up to date as well. And I won't hound you anymore on that. Thank you for being here. Next up, guys, will be RSP. This is the equally weighted S&P 500, meaning we don't give too much weight to either sector. We are right, wow, it's trading at 162.41. So it's showing that the overall breadth of the market is trading off pretty hard right now in the pre-market, guys. So we don't want to take too much note into pre-market because we could rip tater chip to the north side when we open up. That would be a beautiful thing. Okay, let's look at the dollar. So the dollar had a big pop up there, a big pop up first thing. That is probably where we are getting our downfall. We had a big pop in the dollar right when the dollar opened. Very cool there, a big pop. Now that I constantly telling you guys, we usually get an inverse correlation. If we get a pop in the dollar, we usually see the market go lower, because if the dollar's higher, that means that inflation is ramping up. People are trying to hedge against their dollars lowering. Maybe that's not the right way to say that, so excuse me, but it is coming back down. So we're going to see that inverse correlation with the S&P 500, okay? And now it's starting to head back down, so we should see the S&P 500 start heading back up right there, as you can see it. So maybe that is where we are having our issue with this drop in the pre-market, is that dollar had a little tanky tank. The Bitcoin, let's go ahead and zoom out on this. I want to see this on the hourly. It looks like Bitcoin is not holding that 50-day moving average very well at all. Still coming down here in what I would consider our pre-market, but they don't have a pre-market. They're constantly trading. Gold also breaking that 21-day moving average. You can see here that gold is starting to flood to the south side. The VIX volatility index, we got a little bump there with that dollar, but man, I tell you, it's a lot better than we had a week ago with the VIX volatility ramping all the way up here at 2130. So now that we know what's going on in the overall market, let me see if I can't find myself a couple of little trades. I want to go through my overall stock list. So we have, now remember guys, This is not buy or sell recommendations. I'm going through the stock list. It's all these stocks I've been looking at for quite a long time now. So I'm just looking to see where they're at in correlation with the overall market to see if I can find a general direction. All right. So AG is just a silver corporation. I'm expecting minerals to fail for a few different reasons. Precious metals to fail for a few different reasons. One, I feel like the overall public has gained knowledge that we are seeing. Yes, I like that PayPal gap up as well. It is right into resistance though. We should just check one thing before I go through this. The tentative earnings. Let's see. PHG, still trying to hold those. MRIN, nothing good there. WGS, let's see. WGS, a nice pop above that gap at 24%. Nothing too crazy, I don't think. We're just looking at gap ups. So Sensata Tech Holdings, that's a nice one there. That's a nice gap up right there. 42.38. Let's just take a little peek. Wow, that's some good volume too. Wasn't anything crazy. Yeah, we can look at PayPal. PYPL. And that gap up was beautiful, but like I said, guys, it was right into this area of resistance. I think it's going to come back down. It could pop up through on volume. We might see that happen. But we'll see. We'll see very, very soon. So let's just run through these. So SoFi, I'm expecting it to break down here. You know, I think if it breaks this area, we'll just set an alert so that way I can keep an eye on it. These breakdowns, I said this the last time I said this. I actually made quite a bit of money, but I said, I'm not really good at breakdowns, so I'm going to take this trade, but I'm not expecting to win on it. It's not my best strategy. And we took a breakdown, and man, it was our best day. We made a ton of money on that breakdown. That was ARM. Remember the ARM trade, the ARM breakdown? Man, that was an easy $800 day. So NVIDIA is just kind of trading sideways here. We're hoping to get some digestion here in NVIDIA. I don't want to see this thing continually go straight up because I want to find my way into NVIDIA. So we'll see how that does. Wing, we're still waiting for that pullback. Guys, I have it marked here at this 375 area. If we can get a pullback and a bounce, but I'll be with you guys till about 10 o'clock, and then I'm going to take off. We'll see what's going on with the overall market. Kava, I'd like to see some sideways action before taking off. Hood, looks like it did pop up there, but it's pulling back. And usually these brokers follow Bitcoin pretty well. You can see it looks a lot like it, except for it's holding its 50-day moving average, as to where Bitcoin is not holding that 50-day moving average. CPANG, now CPANG has been holding up very well in this overall market. I don't think it's going to take off until after earnings, but I've seen it before many, many times. Earnings is on the 7th. CRS is looking good. FIP. Now I have a ton of alerts too that we're not going to be looking at the charts on. EZPW, Dan Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive, pointed this one out to me, I believe, just the other day. We have a breakout right here. That was going to be looking nice. I'm already in a firm. I am holding this. I should probably get my stop order out. We're only up $51 on this, guys. It's really nothing to even really talk about, but I think as long as this thing just kind of caves in at market open and doesn't get back up here, I'm just going to go ahead and put my stop loss right at my break even area. If it wants to pop back up here and stop me out for this last $51, I don't care. It's not going to bother me any, but if we can play this area to the sell side, I think we can come back down to $31, make a couple $100 on this, no big deal. Our goal, obviously, is that $500 a day. I'd like to do that so I can keep feeding my family. $500 a day, you should be able to live off that, right? UAL, United Airlines. Now, I would love to see this thing cave and crumble, just like my original plan. But it definitely didn't do exactly what I expected it to do. So we're going to see if it wants to do that today. I really wish I would have got those 1,000 shares right up here. Excuse me. I was trying to grab 1,000 shares at about 52.86. We would be up plenty of dough right now. We'd be up about $400 or $500 if it would have taken my order. But hey, you cannot get them all. It would have been an easy day for me today. $400 or $500 right off the rip first thing this morning. But hey, Like I said, you can't win them all, guys. You cannot win them all. We're going the wrong way. PPC. I know Dan Bob likes Pilgrim's Pride. That's a very good looking stock. We have about 8 minutes till market open, guys. 8 minutes till market open, so stay vigilant, stay attentive, stay alert. Let's go. Let me get a sip of this. My mouth's getting dry. Let's check out that data, too. Let's see if that data came in. S&P 500. Hit that news. Let's see if it's on the economic calendar. No, it's actually, it doesn't come out for another 26 minutes. What am I thinking? Excuse me. Oh, let's look at Abercrombie and Fitch. Okay, so this was my idea on Abercrombie and Fitch because it was a leader in the overall market. And on this pullback, it did pull back with it. But if I can get this trend break, that would be beautiful. But I think we're going to probably see some more resistance in this area. So right here is the trend. Let me draw this out a little bit better so it's a little cleaner. We're drawing this out right now for you. We're going to make this look real pretty. All right, here we go. So here's the trend. This thing does look like it's kind of curling over a little bit. I'd love to see this thing kind of break down here and head on a little lower, depending on what the overall market's going to do. Now, if we look at the QQQs, we can see we're at that area of resistance. We are kind of pulling back a little bit at that area of resistance. Reese, do you want to come say hi? Reese, you want to come say hi? No? Man, I tell you, my boy is the cutest thing ever. I've had 3 boys now, guys. I'm a father of 3 boys. Very, very proud of those 3 boys. But I tell you what, I raised 2 boys when I was 20. I'm raising another one in my 30s. And I tell you what, it's a huge difference. Always wait to have kids until you're 30. You'll be a lot better off, a lot well off with money, a lot more mentally stable than when you're in your 20s. I tell you what, I love being a dad now. When I was in my 20s, it was rough. I was still proud to be a dad, but it was just tough raising kids. So just keep that in mind, guys. There you go. There's your fatherly your fatherly dash of love for you this morning. If you don't know already, now you know. So the S&P 500 at 508.29, having that beautiful pullback as QQQs. I do think we still have room to ingest all this data. We're still going to wait till after all these earnings. I think people are waiting for the Apple earnings to come out and all the other earnings to come out. So we're going to see. Maybe we do have a pullback, and maybe ANF, if we get a pop here, maybe this might be my area to take a short in ANF, because it does look like this pop is ready to kind of keel over here. So I might take a small trade on ANF. Now, this is my buy or sell. This is not yours. It's my idea. So just keep that in mind, guys. And with 4 minutes till market open, I do want to tell you that anything that I say, if I bring up a ticker, if I say a ticker, if I say I'm even buying or selling a ticker, that does not mean that you need to buy or sell that ticker. Risk management is key here. Anytime I get into a trade, I am always having an area of risk. I always know what I'm risking, how much I'm risking, and where I plan on taking some of that money off. At least I have a general idea. Okay, so if you're going to take a trade or you're going to do anything, don't follow me. I could be wildly wrong. I don't want you to lose money because of me, so do not follow my trades. But if I bring up any ticker, that doesn't mean buy that ticker. That means watch that ticker. Keep your eye on that ticker. You can paper trade. You're more than welcome to do that. You can mark where I get in and out so you can test my strategies, my ideas. And if you have any questions or any comments or concerns, throw that up in the chat. We're more than happy to go over it with you. I don't mind the banter or the bullshit, but I might not get to it until a few minutes after the market opens. This is what I work for. This is why I am here. We are up about $69, baby. $69 on a firm. I might as well just sell out right now, right? Just take that 69 and head right to the bank with it. So we're up $69. I'm still a child, right? I got 3 boys and I'm still a child myself. But anyway, guys, KLG, we're up about $219 on this trade. We're holding out on KLG until it breaks the 10-day moving average, so we'll see what wants to happen. I'd like it to do a little something before earnings on the 7th, but we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds till market open. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I put it all on the line here for you. I give you the best commentary. I give you the best stock analysis, and I am here for you. If you are at all, or if you've been a part of this community, you already know in the Discord, I bend over backwards for you guys because I absolutely love growing this community. You guys have been so extremely supportive of me, so I try to be supportive with each and every one of you. So thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate you. Of course, we have 6 shares of VOO. We still have another 10 shares we want to get in on this pullback. So for the sake of getting in the VOO, I do hope we continue to pull back at this 50-day moving average that we've talked about, which we are at that 50-day moving average, so we might pull back. Now, for the overall 401ks, your Roth IRAs, your investing platforms, of course, we want to continue higher. We always want to push higher. So, I hope the market continues to go higher, but for my sake of getting more shares into the VOO, I'd like to add another 10 shares of this for the long-term account. Same thing with VTI. I hold 18 shares of VTI. That's a long-term account. That's not something. We just have it here to show you we do investing. We always, and I said do. Yes, I said do. We do investing. Why? Well, because if you look at the overall market, the S&P 500 gains between 8 and 11% every single year on average. I want to be a part of that. So instead of using $103 worth of buying power, I'm going to put some of that away, let it sit on the side. I'll use the other portion from that on margin that I can use to trade with, and then we will keep on keeping on. Now with 55 seconds left to go, baby. Yeah. Let's go ahead and make sure we know what we want to trade. UAL. We are not going to take this thing short, even though my idea is coming into fruition. I could not get that 1,000 shares in, but ANF. If this thing wants to give me a little pop to the north side before the drop, that would be absolutely beautiful. Let's see what ANF looks like on that anchored VWAP. Look at this, guys. Just above that anchored VWAP there. Also, using this anchored VWAP as support below. Can this thing drop? I would love to see it actually happen. Let's draw the trend line out on here. I almost feel like I'm drawing the trend to give me what I want to see, but we're going to see. We're going to see, baby. We're going to see what happens here. So let's do this, guys. Just a few minutes, few seconds. We got 5 seconds, so best of luck to you guys. Best of luck to me. Let's see if we can make some money. All right, right here at market open, it looks like we are getting that pop for Abercrombie and Fitch. We got PayPal popping off, so we already got PayPal getting that. Let's see. Let's just take a little. Okay. I took a very small sell order here in Abercrombie and Fitch. We're going to come back and take a look at this in just a minute here and see what they want to do with that. I'm just going to set my stop just above there. So if it wants to pop up, there we go. We're up $42 on it right off the rip tater chip. Let's take a look at PYPL. We'll come back and take a look at Abercrombie and Fitch. So PYPL did pop right back up there and then sold off very, very hard. SOFI, we might be getting that drop here in SOFI right here, guys. This might be that sell-off I was just talking to you guys about, or maybe it's going to find support at this area. That's why we have to watch it very, very closely in this area. So we have this marked out. We have this area marked out in green where that base breakout or base failure is. We're going to zoom in on the 1 minute to see what it wants to look like. Let my charts get a little bit more wonky, please. There we go. We're heading down to the sell side. Are we going to see any buying power here? We're just going to go ahead and sell about 100 shares right there to see what happens. Just, it's a small amount in this, but I just want to be able to take this trade in front of you right here, right now. Maybe we take, we'll take a few more here and we'll see what happens. Apparently doesn't want to give it to me. Give it to me, baby. I literally sold the market and it's still not giving it to me. I don't like that. So we have 554 shares. Oh, and look at that. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what I'm talking about. We're just going to go ahead and, you know, I don't even know what the hell is going on, but this thing just rocketed to the sell side. Rocketed to the sell side. Look at that. We're up $54 on this. We're gonna sell out. That was very unexpected. So we're just going to go ahead and sell out all of this. I didn't expect it to head that low that fast. So we're going to go ahead. We're just going to lock in $48 on that. That was the breakdown right there. I did not expect it to drop that fast, but that's what I mean about those breakdowns, guys. All right, so we're already up, I mean, wow. We're up $48 just on one little baby trade there. So that's beautiful. I'm glad that we could see that. That's why we are here in the pre-market. We seen a breakdown. We bought the breakdown. We sold out of the breakdown right away because it happened so fast on volume. I'm expecting it to pop back up just like you're seeing here. Now I could probably get back in for the short sale here and let that thing ride lower, but that is not the game plan on this breakdown. We're going to see what it actually wants to do. Its next area of support is $6.44. It might end up doing that, but let's go ahead and look at the overall market, and then we're going to go back to Abercrombie and see where we're at on that. So the S&P 500, you can see we are kind of pulling back here. As we expected, off that 50-day moving average. I told you guys about that this past week. That 50-day moving average is going to be a hard one to get through, but if we can just trade sideways, quite honestly, off this 21-day moving average and trade sideways, that's going to look very, very good for the overall market. Okay, very, very good for the overall market. So let's look at the QQQs because we knew we were at an area of resistance, and QQQs is trying to hold up here. So that looks very, very beautiful. If you guys look, this area of resistance is right up here at 433.44. We just say 433. We don't need to be exact with that, but this 433 area is its area of resistance. So we're going to see what happens with that. Let's take a look at ANF now. Okay, so we need to get, yeah, maybe we should take a little bit out of this, but the overall trade here is to come back down into this area of 112. So I think I'll just hold on to this for a little bit longer. Now LLY is going off. So let's take a look at LLY. LLY looks like it's back up, getting closer to that $800 area. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark my charts out for this 498. I'm going to be looking to actually do a short sale trade if it can get back up in this 800, because we've shown 4 times now that this $800 area is an area to short. Okay, we want to make sure that we are ready to short that area if it is ready to be shorted. So if we get back up in that area, we're going to see how it's going to act. Is it going to act as resistance? If it does, then we're going to go ahead and take a short there. Okay, so ANF does look like it's popping right back up here, which is nice. Maybe right back into this anchored view up area before it heads back down. That would be nice to see. Maybe I should have taken off about half down here, but hey, it is what it is. You can't win them all. Maybe we take out half now. We're gonna just wait this out though. Let's take a look at my Affirm trade. So this Affirm short is still working out for us. It looks like it's still wanting to head down. Let's go back to PayPal, PYPL. Let's take a little peeky gander at that. PayPal is starting to sell off. We talked about the resistance right here. Yes, sir, B. Stewie, waiting for that 800 on Lily. I hope you're waiting on an 800 sell side. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen, but there is a lot of resistance in that area. It looks like Kava's popping off. Look at this. Kava breaking out of this area. Man, you know what? I'm just going to have to buy 100 shares of this right here. And what I'm going to do here, guys, and there we go. We're already up. But here's the thing with Kava. I'm buying this, and if it heads right back down and breaks me out, I'm willing to take a $30 loss for this Kava trade just because. Now, these aren't buy or sell recommendations. Don't you buy or sell this, but I decided to buy Kava because I want in this space. Okay, so this is a bit of a fear of missing out trade. I will admit to it, but I'm buying and I want to see what happens with Kava. So if Kava wants to break back down here, there it goes. All right, so I'm just going to hold on to a piece of this and I'm going to see what happens. Maybe I wait until the end of the day. Maybe we give this some time to see what wants to happen. Kava is a very exciting trade. I'd really like to see Kava do its thing. So let's go back to ANF. Let's see where that's at. I'm expecting it to pull back down here off of this trend. We're going to see what wants to happen here. We need to look at Affirm, and then what I need to really do is I need to pull up my alerts, okay? We're doing really well today. We're up about, I don't know, $300 for the day so far. Wow, let's not look at all of that. We're up about $300 for the day so far. Things are looking really, really good, but what I want to look at is, let's see, my alerts that have been going off like nutso. So FCX, we need to look at FCX, and then we'll go back over our trades because I don't even want to look at the trades right now. So FCX, wow, look at that. It came right back down. It's retesting this area. So I told you guys that I am bearish on the precious metals, but You know, this could easily come back down, retest this trend breakout, and then take off to the north side. So we got to keep a closer eye on that. We want to see, man, I'm telling you, this is Kava, what's Kava doing? Yeah, so Kava, wow. You know, I hope this thing just rip tater chips. I do, obviously. I bought you can't even call this a base breakout, guys, but it broke out of its previous high. That's the reason why I grabbed it. But you know, we talked about this. It's following CMG, okay? See, actually, look at that. CMG pulled back as Kava pushed higher. So that's interesting right there. That's very interesting. We need to note that. If Kava is heading higher as CMG is pulling back, that can mean a few things. Now, Kava is heading higher on higher volume as well. So let me bring this up here just before I get a little too attentive. So let's take a look at this. So Kava, let's look at the average. So right here, the average volume is 2.19 million. It's only traded 50,000. So it's well on its way, but it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing too cray-cray. So we're going to see what wants to happen there. Let's look at a firm. Let's make sure that we're not getting too stretched out on a firm here. I think I'm going to pull this back down to high of day to see if it wants to break out of that high of day. Okay, so I'm moving my stop down to high of day, so that way we will make money on this trade regardless of what happens. Abercrombie & Fitch looks like it's heading right back up to its high of day, which is absolutely bonkers to see, but hey, it's got some of these gaps it wants to fill, so we'll see what wants to happen there. You know what I do want to do? I'm going to go back to SoFi and see, yeah, it's still breaking down here. Very, very interesting. Made a quick 50 bucks on that. That's always nice to see. Your advice on Sunoco ticker, Sun? Oh, sure, I'll go ahead and take a look at Sun. So when we look at Sun, we want to look at the other tickers, which is XOM. We know that XOM here is the leader, and XOM is popping up out of that resistance area that I was talking to you about. Is this the pop before the drop? We're gonna have to wait and see. You can see it does have these wild moves, and then it pulls back. But if you look at SUN here is looking pretty good. But the thing is wow, what is with this big sell-off? You know, huge sell-off. Was below a 200-day moving average, and now came back up and sustaining buying power over the 21-day moving average on a little bit higher of volume. It's hard telling here, but do keep in mind with Sun, they have earnings on the 8th, okay? So it's holding this 10-day moving average for now, which you could use as a stop loss, which might be, you know, good for your risk reward. If it breaks this 10-day moving average, I would probably want to be out of it, just like this. Now, if you're looking for a long-term trade, you know, this, as long as it stays above a 200-day moving average, it looks constructive, okay? So as long as it stays above this 200-day moving average, that might be a beautiful spot to stay in. What we need to look at is EVER. This is going to be your trend breakout strategy right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that volume. EVER. EVER is right at that area. We need to zoom in on the 1 minute to see how the volume is coming in very nicely. We need to go ahead and do our risk management from 1960 to 20. That's going to be 50 cents. So we can see, wow. So the issue with this is the spread. We have 19.99, and so it's about 21-cent spread. It's nothing too crazy, but I do like that volume. I do like where it's at right now. So we're going to grab 100 shares right now. If it comes back, I can grab 100 more. But I do like EVER. We're going to risk this previous day's low. My risk is going to be $50 as of right now, but if it can pull back and get me in at $19.99, I will add in 100 more shares, which will then bring my risk up to $100. So we'll see what wants to happen there. Kava is pulling back a little bit now. We're still up about $40 on that trade. KLG did have a nice pop. We're only up $13 on the day, but $232 total on this trade. So overall, things are looking really, really well. Affirm is popping back up here. We're up $56 on this trade. But if it stops me out here, we're only going to be up probably about $50 on this trade. If we stop out, we still earn money. We'll earn about $30 on the day or $50 total on the trade from when I originally took it. It's nothing big, but my whole strategy on this is to hold on to it until it hits about 31, so just a couple $100. I'm not looking for too much on this. What I want to see is that Kava rip tater chip. Let's get well above my average, so I don't have to think or look about this too very much. So let's take a look at Ever. Ever's just doing its thing here. It's trying to consolidate. Hopefully we can, yeah, and that's what I'm seeing. So up here, there's a bid and an ask price. That is your spread. That's what, when you hear people say spread, just a few seconds ago, we were talking about it was a 20-cent spread. So now it's only a 13-cent spread. And now it's a 12-cent spread. We want to see that spread really tighten up. That shows that the volume's starting to come in, that the bid and the ask is not too far from each other, and we can see this thing get closer, a better trading volume is what we want to see there, okay? So let's go ahead and bring up PAYS for my boy Adam. Oh, it looks like it came back down. That's unfortunate. It's almost back to my original buy area. It actually just broke through that. That's very unfortunate. We want to see that thing rip to the north side. I ended up exiting that out last night just due to the stresses of the overall day. Man, I tell you, this Kava trade, though, I would love to see Kava rip to the north side. Like I said, this was kind of a bit of a fear of missing out, and I'm not afraid of telling you guys that because of Kava, because of the restaurant business, because I want to be in this space so damn bad, and I've missed a lot of other spaces, and they took off without me. And I kept saying, I want to be a part of this space, and I could not find my way in. You've seen it happen with gold. It happened with tech, the second push around. It happened many other times. So yes, I wouldn't consider it necessarily a fear of missing out, but I didn't take my normal strategy. I took a breakout strategy, but it wasn't my breakout strategy. This was a break of a high of day, which I usually get in trouble with these. So we're keeping an eye on it. We're going to see what wants to happen with it. But back to ANF, I did stop out of this for a small $78 loss. We're going to see what wants to happen up here. This still looking like a short to me personally. So we're just going to use this high a day. This will be my second and last trade on this. If it stops me out on this, then we're going to call it a day. But ANF is a leader in this market. So if the S&P 500, guys, if the S&P 500 wants to keep on ripping, which it is, guys, look at this, 509.45. The S&P 500 is looking really good right now, heading back up to those previous days' highs. The previous day high was 510. So we got a little ways to go. We got a couple dollars still left to go there. But if that's going to rise, we're probably going to see ANF head on higher as well. The reason why I took a short on this is just because of that resistance we were seeing in QQQs. I figure it would help drag the rest of the market down like S&P 500. So we're going to see if it wants to do that. If not, I'm not going to stand in the way of a freight train or like that psychology book we were reading, picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. We don't want to do that, right? I'm not going to try and make a few pennies on ANF if the overall market is going to want to run me over like a steamroller. So we might have to switch our bias if it stops me out again. But regardless, ANF looking very good here, pulling right back up into that downtrend. If it breaks up above this downtrend, we might want to be a part of the north side. But Kava here looking absolutely delicious. That Mediterranean food get in my belly. EVER, it looks like it's only going to get me in 100 shares right now. Maybe this thing wants and has the room to move higher. Guys, if you're just joining me, I am the commentary. I do the live stock market analysis. I do the live trading. I put it all on the line here for you. Look at my screen if you would be so kind. I want you to smash this like button. Let me refresh my screen. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. So we got, wow, look at that, 717 subscribers. We're up to 10 likes. I'd love for you to hit that like button. Help me grow. Help me grow this amazing community. Help me be supportive to you, or well, help be supportive to me while I'm as supportive as I can with you guys. Now, EVER is going to the north side. We'd love to see that thing rip tater chip, especially when you buy in. Now, I only got 100 shares in, so it's not, you know, it's pennies to an elephant. I was hoping it would pull back, get me in another 100 shares. but it's not doing much at all. So we'll see what it wants to do in this area. As ANF starting to pull back now from those highs, I'm just trying to use this area as resistance. If you see this downtrend, I like to play these downtrends. I do like to play breaks to the high. I do like to play those breaks to the high. If this does break this downtrend and heads higher, that might be a beautiful place to go long. But right now I'm defending it short. I'm using shorts to defend this area. I got shaken out once at that high a day. I'm going to see what happens in this overall market if it wants to continue to go down lower. Maybe we'll take off half this time right here at anchor VWAP. If it wants to get down back that low, we're seeing a lot of choppiness happen here, a lot of shakeouts happening, but we're going to see, because we had a big sell-off here and nothing pushing up on volume, but the price was going higher, so that's a good inclination that we might head lower. Those are my thoughts, not yours. Let's take a look at Kava, still hanging out here. We're up about $100 already today on Kava. We're going to see if that wants to continue higher, as it is on higher volume. That's what you like to see on Kava, is that volume. Up about $300 still today. We're going to see what the overall market wants to do. It looks like EVER is going to take off without this last 100 shares. So I only have half of my shares so far in this, but that's a-okay. If we only get 100 shares of EVER, that's fine. We'll let it rip without the other 100 shares. I'm going to leave this order down here just in case it wants to come back in and get me in. But that Kava trade, rip tater chip. Let's make some money. Let's make some Mediterranean bowls. Let's smash. Let's eat some food, baby. Let's look at the Affirm trade. The Affirm right there, it almost stopped me out. Came right up to that high of day and then said, nope, we ain't going there. We're going to head back down lower. We're up about $72 on that trade. Looking very good. ANF back down here to these lows. Maybe we need to get out half of the shares now, up $46 on the second trade, but we are down $32 for the day. Now down $64. So this thing does not want to head any lower. So this is a very, I wouldn't say volatile, but very price actiony movement. We have a spread here of 22 cents-ish. So it's not a very good stock to be really trying to play in, but we'll see what it wants to do. We'll see what it wants to do here, because like I said, ANF was a leader in this previous bull market. If the market is going to head higher, like you can see that it's trying to push here, then you know ANF is going to head higher. So you see a little pop on S&P 500, you're going to see a pop on the on ANF, but I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that for now. What I want to look at here, guys, is our leaders. So let's take a look at NVIDIA, just kind of trading sideways right now, ingesting a lot of this push that it had the past 3 days. Huge rips, nice volume. Yesterday the volume was much lower, but what I want to see is Uncle Tesla. Uncle Tesla, its volume yesterday was just amazing. This volume had a huge gap. Now, are we going to come back down and fill that gap, or is Uncle Tesla going to keep on rip tater chip right up to the north side? We're going to have to wait and see, as Kava is doing that exact thing. We're up $162 on this Kava trade. Now, I personally would love to hold on to this Kava trade for a longer term expectancy on this, but with the overall earnings coming out on the 28th, I'm probably going to have to sell some of my position into this just in case we get that big pullback. Now we see that we're up on this. We're holding 100 shares of this, so 100 shares at 71.45. I can mark this out. It's just right at this breakout. Why did I buy this breakout? I want to be in this space. This is a hot sector right now, guys. If you guys aren't aware of it, welcome to the channel. It's a hot sector, ladies and gentlemen. So get your restaurant businesses, find which ones are the hottest, and let's make sure we get a good watch list going. We want to make our money in there. So Damsey in the Discord says PayPal, baby. Let's go ahead and take a look at PYPL and see what's going on. Yeah, PayPal is pulling back. We talked about this resistance area. Where was that resistance coming from? Well, if you look at the daily right here, it was acting as support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goodness gracious, 6, 7. How many areas do you need to do? We draw a line. Now, in the pre-market, it comes right up to that line, peaks above it, and sells off hard. I told you in the pre-market that we are more likely to continue to sell off with all these overhead resistance to sell off into it. And if we wanted to see something constructive, I would say some sideways action before heading higher. Well, right now we're heading right back down. Now we're at an area of support, 67.98. 67.98 looks absolutely beautiful as an area of support. Now, what is it going to do here? I tell you, if anybody actually knew, that would be insider information, and you need to let me know so I can make some money too. But on a technical analysis basis, this would be an area that it should show support. Okay, so we want to see it show support here for PayPal to have constructive ability to continue moving higher. If it doesn't show support and it starts ripping lower and starts heading lower, then that's going to look really, really bad for PayPal. We want to see it actually holding out here. So ANF just lingering around like some bad breath right here at 125.44. We're up $24 on the trade, but we're down $54 on the day because of earlier when I took the trade a little too early. So we're going to see what it wants to do here. Let's take a look at Kava though. Kava's still rip tater chip up about 200 bucks. As a firm still heading lower, we're up about 100 bucks on a firm. Is that going to continue lower? That would be beautiful for the market. EVER heading back down here now. Maybe it grabs me in these shares. Now, why am I trying to grab 100 shares here? Well, that's where the most volume came in. That's where you want to see, that's where you want to get in at, is where these big areas of volume are. We get a big push up on higher volume. Now, when I say higher volume, we're only talking 26,000 shares, but it's the highest volume that's been traded in the past weeks, okay? So I'm trying to be a part of that. I'm hoping that, and I say hope in a very respectful way, I'm hoping there's somebody there defending this area. If they want to defend this area, I want to defend this area. I want to ride on the shoulders of those giants. Okay, if we can ride on the shoulders of giants, we can make money. So let's see if EVER wants to do that for us here and now. If not, maybe it just trades sideways. Maybe it rips up there without me. As Kava, rip tater chip. I think I'm about to sell out of everything else and just let Kava do its gosh darn thing. We are up to 73.94 after 100 shares bought at 71.45. We're up $250 on the trade. We're doing very, very well for us there. I just need everything else to do well with me. So ANF, I'd like to see head back down. But if Kava's heading higher, what's the S&P 500 doing? As Kava heads higher, the S&P 500 is having a pullback. That's a good sign for Kava, showing that we are in a leader. It's saying we don't care what the overall market's doing. We don't care what you think, what you do, what the market expects of you. What's it going to do? It's going to rip tater chip without us, without the S&P 500. That's a-okay. Now, if the S&P 500 can find a nice, cute little bounce here on the anchored VWAP, which is this line here, then we can see more sustaining buyer power to the north side. But we need to see that bounce. So if it's heading down, we know that Abercrombie & Fitch is heading down. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and get out 50 of these shares right now. Why? Well, simply put, we want to, oh, maybe not right now. We'll see if it hits this bid here. We got 50 shares out for this bid in Abercrombie, so that way we can go ahead and say that we are up on the day on it, and we'll go ahead and erase most of that loss. Then I'll take this last 50 shares and I'll go ahead and put it at my break even area. Okay, so that way we can lock in profits. You know, I like to lock in profits right away. Let's see if we can get this to hit my bid down here and then hold and not go any higher, hitting this break even stop loss for this last piece. Okay, so we'll see if it wants to do that. A firm still looking like it's wanting to hold out at these lows. Maybe it holds, maybe it doesn't. We'll see. Let's zoom out on the hourly though, guys. We always want to zoom out. The hourly is not showing too much support here, so I can expect this thing to continue heading lower. At a 5.3% interest, 5.3% average daily range, I really can see this thing continuing to head lower. Let's see, what have we already had? What have we already moved on this? So the average daily range, we've only moved 3%. So we've only moved a little more than half of its average daily range. So we still have room for this thing to come down. Maybe we take off half of our shares here, and you know what? Maybe we just take them all. We'll lock in this this $100. That way I ain't gonna worry about it so much. But we are expecting a bigger move on this. So what am I doing? Why am I thinking that? What am I saying? probably because I expected the same thing yesterday. So I'm using previous talks, okay? I'm using previous days to, oh, and that's why there is support right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and get out of this. We're gonna lock in $100, 65 for the day, or 100 total on this overall trade. And now I can forget about it. Just forget about it, okay? I ain't gonna worry about that trade at all. We can worry about Kava and it rip to the tater chip up to the north side. We got in that EVER at that area that I wanted to get in right when we bought in. It looks like it's doing very, very well at holding this area and defending it. Now, what do I want to do? I want to go ahead and put my stop loss in, because we always, when we buy something, we always want to know where our stop loss is, right? So I like to use this low of day. Now, why am I using low of day rather than previous day low? Because the previous day low is part of my data. My data criteria tells me that the previous day low is the best area to use. I use this because we don't know what the overall market is going to do yet. When we look at the S&P 500, what are we looking at? We are looking at that it's above a 21-day moving average, but it's just trading sideways. If we can get sustaining buying power above this VWAP today and hold above a 21-day moving average, then break through on volume through a 50-day moving average, that is what we want to see for a overall market trend. Why do I say that? 50-day moving average is used by all of your big institutional ownerships. They use that 50 as an area of marking. If it's above a 50, it's looking good. If it's below a 50, it's looking bad. Now the 200-day moving average, it just shows you whether it's a shit stock or not. If it's above a 200-day moving average, that's looking constructive. If it's below a 200-day moving average, I don't even like to talk about it. You guys know me very, very well. Kevin Kilgore says, what ticker is Kava? It's CAVA, actually. CAVA is Kava Group. So Kava Group is a Mediterranean food. It's in the restaurant business, and it's hot, baby. It's a hot mover. It's a hot ticker, and I'm sure it's hot food too, right? With that, we want to keep an eye on Wing. We want to keep an eye on Kava. We want to keep an eye on CMG. We want to keep an eye on all of those restaurant businesses, especially those fast movers. Oh, and SL, right, guys? SL is the other ticker. Simple Greens, SG, excuse me. So those are our tickers in that hot sector. SG, Kava, CMG, Wing, okay? Those are the stocks that we want to keep an eye on. Now, it looks like SG is having a nice little pullback, as Kava is also having a pullback. Let's look at CMG. CMG actually popped back up, so they're not all moving the same. They're not all moving all within the same cyclical move, okay, or cyclical move. They're not all moving in the same. All right, we got out of half of our Abercrombie and Fitch. We're actually making money on this trade now. We were down $60. Now we're up $50 on it, so that's looking really, really constructive. Let's see if we can continue to head lower on this Abercrombie and Fitch, and I can make all my money back. If I can make all my money back and all the clothes we spent at Abercrombie and Fitch before we headed out. Now, how cool would that be? I think that would be a cool little segment. Like, I just spent $600, like just hear me out. We go online, I say, oh, I need to get some new clothes. I go on and I say, well, here's my shopping cart. I buy $1,000 worth of clothes, right? I buy $1,000 worth of Abercrombie and Fitch. Boom, I buy the clothes, and then we go right to Abercrombie and Fitch and we trade their ticker and we try to make $1,000 back. How freaking funny would that be? That would be a cool little segment. Buying, or like how to get clothes for free, or how to make money, or how to do this for free. Okay, we go to Amazon, I'm purchasing $100 worth of this stuff. Now we have to go to AMZN, and we look at AMZN and we go, okay, it's bouncing off the anchored VWAP. It's above this area of support. We buy 100 shares and we play it until we make $100. I think that would be a cool segment. It's definitely something that we want to do. And Kevin, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is David Worrell. We love to do the live trading, the live commentary, the live stock analysis. We do it all here for you. I bring you bite-sized data on those YouTube shorts. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I want to be here for you just as much as you want to be here for me. So please do that now. It's free. It's easy. You'll love it. You might get addicted. Kava, rip tater chip, almost hitting that new high one more again. Let's see if we can continue to get sustaining buying power to the north side on that, as ANF is still doing very well. KLG posing a beautiful trade, $243 so far on that overall trader 24 for the day. Let's see, EVER just kind of trading sideways. We're only up about $10. We've only been in this trade for a few minutes. So How much are we up on the day? Let's see, we're up about $420 as of right now. $420 on the day, guys. When I hit 500, I like to call it quits. I like to call it quits. I set my stops. I walk away from the market. So we got a few more minutes here. Let's make, well, it's 10 o'clock. It's actually 10 o'clock. So I'm only going to give it a few more minutes. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to spend some time with my family, maybe make a nice little YouTube short a little later on today. So let's try and let's see if there's anything else out there. Let's run through the market. Let's see if there's anything out there worth buying, and we'll see if we want to buy it or sell it or whatever the heck the market's telling me to do. So I want to look at Wing. Wing, man, I'm telling you, this Wing breakout, the market wasn't looking good at the time during this Wing breakout, so I stayed away from it, but it is what it is. NVIDIA here, now trading at 886.85. Wow, look at that, making new highs again. New highs, breaking out of that 884.12, the previous high that we had from 2 days ago. Goodness gracious, I salute you to anybody who got a hold of NVDA. That is a beautiful move. A-Lab as well, looking very good in this area. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna have to set my alert for this. I'm just gonna draw, this isn't ideal of a trend line to draw until you get the handle here, but I'm really hoping A-Lab handles out. So we have a beautiful cup with a handle before it breaks out to the north side. So I'm just creating the cup here. And if you actually buy this, How to Make Money in Stocks, you'll see on a lot of these, he creates these same patterns with the cups and then the handles. And that way you can see first and foremost exactly how he buys. A lot of times the handles end up as base breakouts. So it's funny how our strategies kind of line up as you go along here. So ANF already right back up there, up at those tops. So let's see if it's going to stop me out for break even on the last piece of this trade, which is just fine. We've made our money on this. We're going to see if it wants to keep on keeping on. As CAVA, we're going to see if this thing wants to just hold above that not anchored VWAP, but above that VWAP area. That would be beautiful. I'm going to hold on to this thing until... dude, when I was in New York, I seen Kava and I said, man, I probably should grab a bowl of this. I should probably try this because I knew Kava. I knew it was a newer, recent IPO. I'm also live in Michigan. Hey, what's going on, brother? You live in Canton, Michigan area. That's cool, brother. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, man, Monroe, Michigan, that's where I was, well, in the area. I was born and raised in the area, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's where I go to jiu-jitsu at. That's what I love to do, man. That's what I love to do. It's a nice area, except for some of the areas. Just like I think every city, every town has some bad areas. But as long as you know your P's and Q's, you know how to stay out of trouble. You don't have to worry so much about them. As Kellogg, get yourself a bowl of that disgusting Raisin Bran. Wow. That disgusting Raisin Bran. It's going up higher. You guys must have went out and bought a bunch of Raisin Bran because this thing rip to the north side. 23.84. It's looking pretty good. We're up about $30 on the day, or $250 total on the trade, as EVER is still defending that same volume area that we were talking about. It's kind of just barcoding on the 1 minute, so it's not looking all that pretty, but we're going to give it time to see what it wants to do. As Kava looks like it's going to go right back to those highs again and get up there. Rip, baby. Let's go. That's what Daddy likes to see. 73.86 is its current trading, and its high is 74 even. That's why I always use these as the psychological areas. And I can just tell you right now, by the way this thing's trading, if it breaks above that 74, it's going to continue higher. It's going to push higher, maybe make brand new highs. So we'll see it right here. Let's see if I'm right on this. Boom, 74, 74.12, 74.20, 74.31, right there, guys. 74.38, 74.44. Can we see 75 on this one push? I called it right here, right now. This is why we love to do this live trading. From $74 to $74.44, $74.50. Let's go. I sound like I'm at an auction. We just jumped 50 cents after breaking through that 74. That's what you see on these leaders, guys. When you see it break an area of psychological and an area of technical resistance, it just shoots up fast and quick. And that's what we're seeing with Kava. So that's what I like to see here. So let's see. Mama, what's up? Mama's here. What's up, Mama? It's good to see you. You're moving back to Michigan. Good. You better. I need your help. I'm going to teach you how to trade. You're going to make millions. All right? So get your ass back to Michigan. Bring the old man with you. We're going to create a whole prop trading firm. You guys we're going to set up a whole bunch of computers, a whole bunch of desks. Everybody's going to learn how to trade. We're going to make a bunch of money. We're going to get the bubble top in the back for B. Stewie. B. Stewie's going to sit in the bubble top, and he's going to be trading in there. We're going to kill it. All right, guys, it looks like I've already made that $500 for the day. It looks like ANF doesn't want to treat me very well today. That's going to be our only losing trade today is Epicromie and Fitch. We're only down $18 on it, so I'm fine with taking my only losing trade is $18. You know what I mean? That's pennies to an elephant, but I'm still holding it. It still hasn't stopped me out yet, so as long as it wants to continue the sell side, I'm just going to leave my stop up here at 125.66. Maybe we end up making money on it. Maybe it stops me out as I speak. Either way, we're letting it go. But Kava seems to be the real winner here, holding up there at 74.22. We're still holding Ever. I might not hold on to this till the end of the day, depending on how it moves. I might just go ahead and move my stop up to 1996. Moving it way up, I'll lose pennies on it. KLG, this thing's rip, tater chip to the north side. 259 is how much we made on this so far. We're up $40 on that. So we made money on AFRM. We made close to $100 on that, or 65 for the day, locking in those profits. ANF, we're up $11 since the open, or $16 we lost on the day. Kava, CAVA, we're up $227 so far on the day. Nice little pullback there. You like to see that. You don't want to see these stocks go straight up. If they go straight up, they're going to come straight back down. So that's looking really good. What else did we play today? I already forgot. What else did we play today? How's UAL doing? UAL, yeah, it did pull back. I had a nice pullback there. It's looking good. How's PayPal doing? PAYL, let's see it. You guys in that Raisin Brand. Raisin Brand, good for you, buddy, and your wallet. Hey, thank you, CJ. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Raisin Brand. I don't know what the hell's going on with you guys in Raisin Brand. My mom will probably like certain Raisin Brand. PYPL. PYPL. Okay, yeah. Look at that. Right off that anchored, or not anchored. This is just regular VWAP pulling back. We made close enough to that 500 for the day. I'm going to call it quits, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe before you leave. I absolutely love growing this community. You can join our Discord. Everything's free. All the news, all the data, all the information I bring for free. I will never, ever ask of anything from you except for your time. Today you gave me that, so thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Make sure you get out and enjoy that weather. If you are close to Canton, or if you're close to me, which I know you are, Kevin, you're close to Canton, or you're in Canton, enjoy this weather, brother. Don't watch every single tick, guys. Don't watch every single tick in the market. It will hurt your stomach. So make sure you guys have an awesome day.